Hey guys, it's Trevor Laird here, and welcome back to this week's edition of Nimera Talk. In just a few moments, I'm going to explain to you why now is the time that you should be buying EON. We're also going to talk about the AMA, the markets, and anything else going on. So let's not delay anymore, and let's get started. Now, first things first, guys, we have to talk about what's going on with the EON price within the markets and look at the scope of what is going on, especially over the last 30 days. So we look at March, okay? We were down at the beginning, like February or so, we were down around 3.5 cents. We would kind of kick it around that area. But within the last few weeks of March, as we got closer to Q1 being done, we got that big channels update, but they did miss the mark on multi-broker due to a wallet issue, okay? So now we're into, we're 10 days now into April. So we're right at the beginning of Q2. What you saw here coming up this week, and we'll check out the markets after, is the prices have gone pretty much from rising up to maybe about 25 cents US. So a huge gain. Think about that. We went from 2 to 3 cents up to 25, and then they've dipped back down today to those levels. So what that should show you is the market is testing itself to have these gains based off of the new things coming out. And for me, what that means is that when we do have those things come out, we're not only going to meet that pre-market price that we got to even before they were released, but we're going to exceed it greatly. So if you have been looking, guys, for an opportunity to either buy more EON or to get in on the market, this is it, because I don't think it's going to last long. We're going to follow up on this next week. If you're seeing 2, 3, 4 cents, buy it now if you can, okay? This is investing, it's whatever risk you can take. But when we see the price testing up at 25 cents plus, and then we have a moment where it dips back down, that is the moment. Buy low, sell. So here's why I think the price did dip down. Now, we of course had the multi-broker miss the mark for April 1st, okay? But that was due to a technical issue with the wallet integration. So everything with the trading and all that was working, but they wanted to make sure that all of the wallet API was working properly for that, and that had some issues. So the dev team is working on that now. So I think there are some people out there who did sell based off that mark being missed. I personally think that's a large mistake, but it doesn't matter. This is how a free market works. The other thing is there's lots of people who are buying around that 2-3 cent range. So then when it gets up to being around 25 cents, if they sell, that is a huge gain for them. Maybe they're short-term traders, they're not thinking long-term. That is okay, that's open to the market, but it does open up the greatest opportunity for us who are looking for entry points to either expand our pod or to get in and actually see where it can go. It's already got back up there within the last 2 weeks, and what that tells me again is the second that multi-broker is released, the second we get up to being on a tier 1 exchange, it's going to explode past that price. It's going to go way over $1 in my opinion. So now is the time, guys. If you can turn 2 to 5 cents into $1 and that interests you, then take the opportunity to do it now, because those prices will not be sitting there long. Again, I'm going to go back into the swap metrics, but there's about 1 million EON available. But the second we start getting in, like 250,000, 25% of that, like 250,000 sell, then the price is going to jump back up to like 5 cents. Another 250,000 sell of that. It keeps incrementing higher and higher, so you're going to get 20, 30, 40 cents. So be careful with this. If you have an opportunity, take it now. So now we have to talk, guys, about the AMA. So I've been talking to the Nimera CEO, Andrew Zamin, and what we want to do is we talked about kind of the best timeline for an AMA with him, and he's thinking we need to do this in May. There's a lot of reasons for that, but the dev team right now, they think that they can have the multi-broker up and running within April. We're about 1/3 of our way through April, so that still gives us 20 days or so to go. So he wants the multi-broker to be out so people can use it, generate questions based off that, and so forth. They're also talking about being able to release very soon the tokenomics documentation that will explain why it's a great thing to hold NIONs in the future and what the financial benefits are going to be to that and how that all works. So we've been waiting for this document for a while, and it can really help us to understand the major benefits and profits that we can make by holding NION in different capacities and how all of that's going to work. So he wants us to be able to read that beforehand and generate more questions based off that, because if we just have an AMA like tomorrow, then we might be missing out on a huge amount of stuff coming out that would generate some really new questions that we want to get answers for going in the future. So if you have not yet, guys, get over to Discord, okay? Get on the Discord server, go to Nimera Weekly. I might even make a subgroup there for AMA questions, and start posting your questions there. I've already got like a bunch sent to me in PM. If you don't want to post it publicly, you can send me a direct message on there. and I will start adding that in and building up that sheet. But as things come out, we're going to keep following them up, and I'm going to start letting you guys know what questions we have. But look forward to this AMA coming up in May, and hopefully with all of these last Q1 items finished and running. Now time for the Nimera Ecosystem Health Check and Market News. Starting out here, always happy to report when we see that green bar on the top and the gateways are all good to go. As far as planned maintenance, we had April 7th, a little bit of downtime to do some corrections there, and that was pretty much it for the week. Heading on over to look at the swap, we had an excellent week for volume as well, with 72,000 euros being traded and a total liquidity still hovering around the 180,000 mark there, which is about average for what we've been experiencing. Now, hopefully, we'll get back over 200,000 and it will keep increasing from there. Total fees paid this week to people who are staking their cryptocurrency, and that could be on any of the pairs there. The total fees is $368. So if you're not looked into staking your cryptocurrency, it's a pretty good place to do it. That's not really that high risk. Going down to top tokens here for volume, we had EON again with 65,000 euros being traded on EON. Now, of course, there's lots of sells in there too over this week, and that to me, again, like I explained before, is not a bad thing. It's showing the volatility, showing interest in the market, and we are seeing trading. Now let's take a quick look at what all that trading did to the price of EON. So if we go here, we can take a look at the week chart, and we're going to see all of our volume. So very, very steady throughout the week. Now that pushed the price down 28%, okay, to about 2 euro cents. It ends up being about 2.63, so just shy of 3 euro cents, about 5 cents, 4 or 5 cents USD, depending on the exchange rate. And that obviously a lot of volume within 24 hours. And one thing that you guys might be wondering is how can the swap assess the price, okay? It's not just based off of people's trades. Buying EON is going to increase the price, selling EON for BTC is going to decrease the price. That is how the metric works. But if people remove liquidity, so say there's a million EON in there, and there's one BTC, and somebody removes, say 25% of that BTC, then that is going to drop the ratio price of EON. It's just the way the swap metric works. So we can see here that in the swap right now, there's 1.1 million EON available, and there's 0.61 BTC available to sell EON to, and tons of activity here for people buying and selling EON. So I think that one of the major factors here was somebody removing some BTC from this pool, and that affected the price. And currently this makes it the cheapest place to actually buy EON right now. Moving on over to the main exchange, let's talk EON on here. So we only had 3 pairs that met our kind of minimum requirement, which is at least $1,000 a week being traded on them to justify the price. Because if it's like $6 or $7 in some crazy trades, it's not actually a good sign of volume meeting that price. But looking at EON right now, we sit on the BTC pair at around 39 Satoshis in that last trade. Now, as you can see, the buy orders underneath are even higher than that, and the sell orders are much above that. So the lowest somebody is willing to sell EON for is 1,000 EON at 70 cents, and that rises pretty quickly here. So at 90 cents, there's a good amount available, and again, going up even more, we start to see these gaps up. But the prices really are hard to justify because it changes so fast. The volatility we are going to see, like I explained earlier, is very high at this point. So if you do see a low point of entry, and you have been waiting, then that is definitely going to be a good move because we've seen it bounce off 2-3 cents constantly, and it never ever holds that low. On the euro side there, again, about the same. Last trade at just at 3 cents. So it's really matching what it is on the swap. The next person willing to sell EON, though, is at 6 cents. So again, and there's a decent amount, 20,000 here at 7.2 cents. So this is actually really the cheapest you're going to get on the exchange. Going down to the USD side, we're seeing all in the same. There was a trade at like 2.2 cents, but in reality, the next person is willing to sell at around 6 cents. Now that does rise up rather quickly. Again, we were all the way up to like the 25 cent mark here, so that is huge. And as we can see now, there's about $10,000 or $12,000 between us and getting back up to that price point. Now a quick look at our global markets for the week. We had BTC up about 3% there at 59,000. It keeps bouncing off 60, and that's fine. This is going to sit at the all-time high then that is fine. We can use some stability in that market. ETH kind of follows suit. A little bit of a correction there to DOT from its rise over the last 2 weeks, and BNB and XRP took a nice little jump there as well. Okay, everyone, that is it. That is all I have for you for the week. Now, I know it seems a little doom and gloom on the exchange to see that price go up and down, but this is the ebb and flow of all markets, and the most volatility normally happens whenever something is brand new. So don't take it as a downside, take it as an opportunity. Again, all investing advice really comes down to you, comes down to your risk factor. Any new project is considered high risk, but we do have an opportunity to accumulate more EON at a very low price that we know that price is every time it's got down to around 2, 3, 4 cents, it's bounced right back up, and that's even pre all of these announcements and developments coming out on the roadmap. So take that for what it is, and if this is your address above me, you have won $25 Canadian worth of EON. I'll be saying that to you in exactly 7 days, and for last week's winner, you will be getting it today right after this video comes out. Thanks again so much for watching, guys. Please like and subscribe. For Nimera Talk, I'm Trevor Laird.